Hey everybody, it's Tracy. Thanks for tuning in to my channel, Tracy Love. My name is Tracy Dudley and I'm a survivor of sexual exploitation. That's always so hard for me to say. But I'm a survivor of sexual exploitation and I do a lot of work in Houston, Texas. And I'm a Southeast Houston baby. And I just wanted to get on here today and talk to you a little bit about the curriculum that we have put together, and it is called Disabling Dependency. And I just wanted to start talking to you ladies about fighting for your life, right? Getting to a place where you realize that the things that you have gone through have purpose. I know for a long time I was told I'm having trouble with my seatbelt. Hang on. Okay, so I know for years I was always told, you have such a purpose and a call of God on your life. And, you know, I was always told all these things, which are true. And I believed what they said. But what happened was I got to a place where it wasn't enough. It was not enough for somebody to tell me that God had a plan for my life, right? It wasn't enough anymore for somebody to say, you know, come up for prayer and get that word from God. I mean, I've been getting words from God since I was a little kid, right? Let me just give you a little backstory. I grew up by Hobby Airport in a big, beautiful, bad to the bone house. I had anything and everything I wanted except a voice. And so in pursuit of having a voice, in pursuit of trying to get away from a very critical and dominating, intimidating step grandfather, who I called Dad because he adopted me, and he didn't have to adopt me. I mean, I'm major props to him, you know. So my mom cut for me real tough. I was adopted, and my mom is now in heaven. And my mom cut for me real tough, and my dad was he was kind of like a jerk, y'all. I mean, to me, he was, you know, I was like a redheaded stepchild for real. Okay. And so anyway, I grew up with this whole complex, you know, having red hair and being like the biggest dork in school is like not real cool. So that was kind of my situation, right? And so it seemed like I couldn't get any relief at home because, you know, I was that girl that was always saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. I was that girl who, you know, I stepped in it because I didn't even know it was there. You know, it was like if something was going to happen, it was going to happen. And guess what? I'm still high maintenance. Stuff still comes up. You know, I was that girl at school that had her desk in the hallway. Hello, come on, somebody. Oh, I'm the only one. Okay. I don't believe that. And so I was that girl, right? Desk in the hallway, always in trouble. You know, I was the girl that continued to crack up and laugh in class when everybody else had already stopped laughing. And just stuff was funny to me that just was like, it really wasn't even funny. But to me, it was hilarious. You know, so my dad was just real critical. At school, I was always like, everybody knew who I was, but like I didn't have a boyfriend. I mean, I had like one boyfriend, you know what I'm saying, when I was like 14. But I mean, I wasn't like asked out on dates. You know, I was never asked out on a date. You know, I never had a boyfriend. Nobody ever, you know, wanted to take me to any kind of dance or just nothing, you know what I mean? And I don't even know that I really cared. I've always been kind of a renegade and a solo dolo, and that's a good thing, and that can also be a bad thing. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that soon. But I just wanted to talk today about, you know, my path into the life. You know, I think I smoked crack for the first time when I was like 20, and got involved in I loved running the clubs and the bars and being, if I want your man, I'll have your man. And I was very disrespectful. I broke up homes, and I have to live with that every day, you know. And so it just means a lot to me to be able to have the opportunity to reach back and help other girls that may find themselves in this same situation, right? In this same situation where they're thinking that they can find their identity in being chosen. And, you know, the guy chose me tonight. He wanted to be with me. And so for a long time, that was kind of what kept me. Okay, look. That's the Sheriff's Office K9 unit. Okay? And I done did my time. I ain't going back. And he was right next to me, so I had to put the phone down on the cool. I'm thankful for my HPD friends nowadays, though. Even the ones that lock me up every single time. Ford, Patterson, and Smith, you know who you are. They support my work now. I haven't had a chance to run into Ford, but I definitely have had the chance to talk to Patterson. And that boy, he's good at what he does. I'll say that. And honestly, the times that I got locked up, which were many, before and after my 2 trips to prison, they were saving my life. I believe law enforcement plays a big part in rescuing. I think a lot can be done so that people aren't stuck with records if they're true victims. But I really believe that I had some choices to make, that I had choices to make, and that also I needed to handle my business. I needed to make some decisions. I played a part. I played a role, you know. And so this brings us to this place that I found myself where, you know, I made a decision. I'm going to find my voice. I don't have a voice. I was always dismissed in life. My opinion didn't count. What I had to say didn't matter. I was always questioned. I was always monitored. Why do you want to do that? What do you want to do that for? Well, Tracy, what do you want to do that for? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? What are you doing? Constantly. And I'd had enough. And so, man, I created a chick, and her name was Cadillac Red. And she was bad to the bone. Couldn't touch Cadillac. Nobody called me Tracy. Everybody called me Cadillac. And she took off, like I said, destroyed a lot of homes. I say a lot. I know 2 for a fact. I should say 3. Because the main one that got destroyed was my own. We'll go into details about my son and things like that, but I'm just trying to give you a little nugget today. I always had a voice. If you're listening to this and you can relate to growing up like I did, let me share something with you. There's a reason that you were always called out. There is a reason that you were always all eyes on me, right? There's a reason that when you walked into a room, all of a sudden stuff popped off. And you weren't even trying to make it pop off. I'm not talking about being the most popular and you walk in, everybody, oh, like Kevin Hart talked about his buddy when he got on the bus. Oh, Kev on the bus. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just your presence. And that's what it was like for me. But nobody told me that's because you were created to bring change, Tracy. And maybe no one has told you that all those screw ups and all those mess ups and all those times where you were always discounted and dismissed, this stuff still happens to me, y'all. And I have to be real careful because I can get into my own, my own set of feelings and stuff. So I have to be real careful, like what's real and what's just, trauma from the years that I faced growing up where I wasn't allowed to have a bad day. I wasn't allowed to talk about, man, I like this guy in school and he just thinks I'm the biggest dork that ever lived, right? So the reason those things had been happening to me is because I was created to walk into a room and bring change. And so are you. I'm telling you, chick, if you can relate to my story, then, oh man, there goes a Chick-fil-A. That sounds good. If you can relate to my story, what I'm sharing with you is there's a reason that those things have been happening in your life, right? There's a reason. There's a reason those things have been happening. And I need you to start embracing what makes you different. I need you to start embracing things about you that seem like that are always questioned, where you feel like you have a knot in your throat and you can't get those words out. Best believe that the enemy has been playing with folks a long time. And I believe in my own life, that dude trying to get across the street in a wheelchair. Ooh, I feel bad. That's been happening in your life and in my life a very long time. So I just want you to start thinking about this. You can start flipping those things. You can start flipping things that you felt held you bondage. You can start flipping things that made you feel like you don't fit in. You're not a part of, you always have the question when nobody else does. You always have something to say. You always have an opinion. You always have an idea, an imagination. You walk into a room. I'll say it like this. You ever walked into a room and felt like you were lying or like you did something wrong? You have. Okay, it's a perfect example. So take that. We have so much to learn and do together. But take those opportunities and start telling yourself, oh, wait, hold them up, swallow them up. There's a reason I've walked into this place and stuff started changing. Because I'm created to bring change. It's been happening to you since you were a little girl, since you were a little kid, since you were a teenager, and you were always fronted out, or you were always being put on blast, and you feel like you're cursed and you don't know why. I'm telling you why. It's because you do have that call of God on your life. But you're called to do stuff in a completely different way than most folks. So stay tuned. We're going to talk more. You can check me out on tracydudley.love, and I will talk to you soon.